Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Randy Chalmers with Louisiana Housing Authority, and today we're going to discuss what is the Louisiana foreclosure process. But before we do so, make sure you click on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because I post listed information like this all the time and you don't want to miss it. So this particular video is going to be a lot more detailed, so it's going to be a little longer than my average videos. But I want you to take some good notes because I'm going to give you a lot of information. I promise they're going to be very beneficial to you. So the topic is, what is the Louisiana foreclosure process? Well, let's start at the very beginning. When the borrower themselves stop making payments, they become delinquent on their mortgage. And the first thing that happens is that mortgage services is going to send them a notice of default in the mail, right? So they're going to get this notice of default. That's the first process. 120 days oftentimes have to pass before the foreclosure process starts, meaning that the day that you were delinquent, 120 days after that is when the process of foreclosure will begin. That rule went into effect through CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, during the crisis or the aftermath of the 2008-2009 mortgage crisis. They put this rule in place. And what that time period does, that 120 days does, it gives the borrower an opportunity to, one, either make those back payments up, two, be able to qualify for any loss mitigation option that's available to them. Now, in another video that I did, I broke down what is loss mitigation, and I also had other videos that gave you all the options, what they are, right? So I encourage you to watch those videos. So for this particular video, I want you to think of loss mitigation as the lender is mitigating their losses through foreclosure, because foreclosure is very, very expensive, right? The cost is astronomical. Now, what happens is inside of this loss mitigation box, if you will, there's options that's in there. One is a loan modification. Two is forbearance agreement. Three is a repayment program. Four, you have a deed of lieu. And then five, you have a short sale. And six, you have a partial payment, right? And so each one of those options that I just stated, there's a video on those. So make sure you go and watch those videos so you can educate yourself with enough knowledge that you can make good financial decisions for your family, right? Now, let's get back. Over 120 days have to pass before the foreclosure process starts. But within that 120 days, that you may be qualifying or going through the process of getting a loan modification, right? So you're going to request a loan modification, this as an example, and there's literally an application that you have to go through, and you have to fill out the application in great details and send in all those documents to the lender, right? The mortgage service, I should say. So those documents are going to be paycheck stuff, bank statements, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they want to look at your overall financial picture to make sure that you can make those payments within the new loan modification agreement if they approve it, right? Now, the loan application for the modification has to be in full, in entirety, and that the borrower have to make sure they have that in at a certain time period so the mortgage servicer can actually approve or disapprove that application, right? And that's the purpose of the 120 days. Now, once the 120 days is passed, now what happened is in Louisiana, we're in a judicial foreclosure state, but we also use the executory foreclosure process in Louisiana. And again, there's another video I did that talks about the difference between a non-judicial foreclosure state and also a judicial foreclosure state. And we also talked about what is an executory process that's being done here in Louisiana. So I encourage you to watch that video as well to educate yourself. Now, by we being in Louisiana with a executory process in a judicial state, the service provider actually going to have their trustee go down to the court, go down to the judge and file a lawsuit, right? File a petition, a foreclosure lawsuit saying, hey, listen, the borrower is behind X amount of months. They haven't paid us. Here's the mortgage that they signed. And in the mortgage agreement, we have used this particular asset that they're living in as collateral. And now we want to foreclose, sell that property, sell that asset as a collateral to be able to collect the remaining balance that's owed to us since they are delinquent on a mortgage, right? So that lawsuit has to be filed. That petition must be filed with the court or judge. Now, typically in Louisiana, I typically see in that same day when that trustee goes down and files their petition, they get an approval. And what that approval is basically a notice of sale, right? So now a judgment is issued, right? Literally a judgment is issued, and they have which is called a notice of sale. And that gives the right for the sheriff to be able to auction off the house. But before they do so, they have to be able to provide publicly in the public newspaper that the property is being foreclosed on, right? So they can't just jump right into a sheriff's sale. It has to be noticed to the public first, right? And after a certain time frame passes, after 2 or 3 posting to the public, then the sheriff's sale is actually scheduled, right? Now, also, what they're going to receive is a notice of seizure, right? And that gives the sheriff the right to foreclose on the property, that notice of seizure. Now, once the property is sold, it either went back to the lender himself as an REO, real estate owned property, or it was sold to a buyer who won the auction, who won the bid at the auction. Either way, now there has a notice of leave that's going to be issued. And what that simply means is that you cannot stay in the house. You have to depart from that property. Now, I had another video that talks about what happens after the property has been sold. How long do you have left to stay in the property? I encourage you to watch that video as well to arm and educate yourself. So that's the process, guys. I encourage you to watch this video a few times because there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of information. But if you are facing foreclosure, you're looking to prevent, avoid, and even stop foreclosure, my team would love to help you, right? We're going to do our best to see what we can do to help you to save your home. Having said that, pick up the phone, give us a call, visit us online, and we can schedule a free foreclosure prevention consultation. See you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a great day on purpose. Take care.